If you attempt 88 questions, आपको 57 correct होना चाहिए. If you attempt 96, आपके 59 correct होना चाहिए. And if you attempt 100 questions, आपके 60 correct होना चाहिए. So it's basically safe to say that you need to get close to 60 correct to be on the safer side. One thing I want to say is the level 1, in which all these different questions is easy for everyone out there. You don't need to join any course to understand that. That is something that all the people out there, all the academics out there teach you. We are launching the Dominate Elimination course for the fact that content can give you only 30 to 35 questions, and the rest you will need to join you need to eliminate. You need to better your elimination strategies. So firstly, in this session, I'll be discussing why studying the elimination techniques is more important than ever. And after that, we'll be mostly discussing about the importance of this logical and elimination session, which is going to start from February 2nd here. Right. Now, before starting the same, let me ask you a very simple question. Okay. As all of you know, close to 10 lakh students out there register for the UPSC Prelims every year. And out of that, close to maybe 5 lakh or even maybe 6 lakh students attend the examination. But let me ask you, what is that one difference? Mostly that one difference that separates the students, and what separates those from who actually clear the prelims. Now, you will be having different answers regarding the same. You must be thinking that they will be focusing more on their content. They'll be revising the PYQs more. They will be, reading the NCERTs in a very diligent manner. But what is that one thing that separates the same? What is the one difference that separates the 15,000 people from all these 10 lakh students who are preparing for the UPSC? So it's basically the elimination which actually separates the students from those who clear, from those who do not clear. If you have a really good aptitude skills, then definitely let me tell you, UPSC Prelims is going to be a cakewalk for you. For the fact that UPSC is not some random state examinations wherein they test the pure logic, pure content of any examination, right? UPSC will not ask you what is the length of this road, in which date it was introduced, which section it was it. The UPSC questions are mostly analytical in nature. The UPSC questions are mostly logical in nature. That is why you need to develop the aptitude skills for you to qualify prelims. Right. Now, let me ask you one more question here. Now, most of you must have attempted the 2025 prelims, right? Now, when you saw this question, when you saw the 31st question here, have you ever thought, okay, so here in the 31st question, as you can see here, the first statement was, studies indicate that carbon dioxide emissions from cement industry account for more than 5% of the global carbon emissions, right? Now, why more than 5%? Why did not UPSC introduce cement industry account to global carbon emissions? And why more than 5%? Have you ever thought the same? Why has UPSC introduced more than 5% here? Why not cement industries indicate that carbon dioxide emissions from cement industry contribute to global carbon emissions? Now, this is the way you have to think. Always remember, there is a purpose in which UPSC introduces each and every word, be it 1%, be it has, be it must, be it can, be it may, be it primarily, mainly, all these words UPSC introduces to make a purpose. The question will be either to make it general, or the question will be, or the word will be to either to make it very extreme. So this is the way you have to think. And this is something, let me tell you, after you watch my elimination sessions, you will be able to develop. You will be able to pinpoint each and every reason why. You will become very analytical and understand why UPSC asks each and every statements. I'll ask you another question with respect to 2025 as well. Now, in the 40th question, you can see here, well-oxygenated surface water contains several folds higher oxygen than in atmospheric air. What extreme word did UPSC introduce here? UPSC introduced the word several folds, right? Now, why several folds? UPSC could have just said that well-oxygenated surface water contains more oxygen than atmospheric air, right? Why several folds? Because UPSC know that well-oxygenated surface water does not contain higher oxygen than in atmosphere. But just to be on the safer side, what did UPSC introduce? Maybe some other reports say in the future that, okay, fine, well-oxygenated surface water can contain more oxygen than the atmospheric air, right? Because it's well oxygenated. But to eliminate that even 0.1 chance of making the question wrong, UPSC have introduced the word several folds here, right? So this is the way you have to think, and this is exactly what we will be focusing the elimination session, as I told you. We will never be focusing on the content regarding the questions, especially with respect to the 10 years of PYQ. When I'll be discussing the same, we'll be focusing on that. Apart from all the first 5 foundation sections that we'll be taking, we'll be only focusing on the words introduced by UPSC and how you need to go with the words and understand why UPSC have introduced the same. Okay, everyone. Now, let's actually talk about what is the importance of elimination, right? Now, most of you who have attended my previous sessions will understand that. You must have seen the slide regarding the same. We need to get close to 60 correct in order to be on the safer side, right? Let's say you attempted, I have taken 94 here for the fact that, in 2025, we are expecting the cutoff to be around 91, 92. So I have taken the 94 here to be on the safer side. So how will we get 94? If you attempt 88 questions, आपको 57 correct होना चाहिए. If you attempt 96, आपके 59 correct होना चाहिए. And if you attempt 100 questions, आपके 60 correct होना चाहिए. So it's basically safe to say that you need to get close to 60 correct to be on the safer side, right? Now, how do you get the 60 correct? What do you think, everyone? Will you have the content to get 60 questions correct in UPSC? Content से आपको कितना मिलेगा? Anyone? Content से आपको कितना मिलेगा? Yeah, mostly comparison statements. Nandini is saying 2025. Any other person? कितना मिलेगा आपको? Okay, closely let me tell you, 30 to 35 is the maximum that you will get from the content, right? Now, what about the other 25 to 30 questions? This is where the logical elimination plays a major role, right? Because 30 to 35 you will get through your content. 15 to 20 will be content plus logic. And the other 5 to 10 will be basically pure logic. Okay. So that is why this session is going to be, this course is going to be very significant for all of you, right? So even if you compare the 2025 paper, close to 37 questions could have been solved through logical elimination. And I'm not something bluffing here. We'll be having the sessions of 2025, and I'll actually show you the questions which could have been solved through the logic here. Okay. So in 2025, as you can see here the word single-handedly. It works single-handedly to help developing countries to reduce poverty. 29p, you can see here the word everywhere is written. That is an extreme word. 94p, you can see it only provides benefit. It provides benefit only in the aviation sector. Cigarette butts, eyeglasses, and car tires, you can use your 1% logic here, because UPSC can never say that they don't contain even 0.1% of plastic, right? So therefore, all the 3 will be the answer. So sub pay, some hai, no power hai. Panchayat at intermediate level exists in all the states. This is something we have done in our dominate as well, right? For Sikkim, Mizoram, and all the other states, intermediate level is not required. There is no mention for political parties. There is no regulatory body. And level 2, I mean the level 1 logic, I have basically divided all the different logics in UPSC according to 3-4 levels. Okay. Now the first level is where we go with the very logical thing, very basic thing, such as eliminating all, every, taking things as may correct, can correct, and all the other different things, which would be level 1. Everyone will know the same. Now level 2 is where you go with the patterns, right? Let's say, for example, if 4 big statements are there, UPSC have never in the last 10 years made all of them correct. If 4 big statements are there, when 5 statements are there, mostly the answer will be 3. When 6 statements are there, mostly the answer will be 4. So we go with the patterns. Now in our logical discussions as well, in the class discussions after the test, I have also discussed about different logics, such as going with the most identical options. When 2 options are identical, one of them can be the answer. Going with the most specific options. Let's say in polity test, in the polity advanced test, 33rd question, we have the inter-day commission. So all these different things, right? So these will come under level 2, patterns, identical statements, and all the other different things. Binding declarations, binding according to the constitution, constitution defines. These will come under level 2 in my opinion. These are patterns. When 4 page comes, UPSC are mostly 8 questions were there. In 6 times, UPSC have given only 2 as the answer. When 4 big statements are here, there, UPSC have always, mostly in all the cases, UPSC have provided only 3 as the answer. So this is going with the patterns, 6 by 4, 6 by 4, 5 by 3 as a question. Now the level 3 would be all these different difficult things. Now why did UPSC introduce the word more than 5% here? Why did UPSC introduce the word usually here? Why not UPSC could have provided how many of the above make battery cathodes, right? Why did UPSC provide the word usually here? Now this is what we will be focusing on in our these sections. Okay. There's a itna sara questions say UPSC pe. If you see that question, if you see that words, you will be able to get the answer, right? Why did UPSC introduce words? Several words. Why encourage and support? Why not some any extreme word out there? So this is what the level 3 would be. In case of level 3, we would be using word deconstruction, such as when any term come, we dissect the word and then we try to find out the answer. For example, fractional orbital bombardment system, Hindu Mastur Sabha, all the other different questions in our test series, such as biflation, psychic income, price ripping, bank run, all this which have been asked in our test series as well. So this is what comes under level 3. Okay. Now level 4 would be, you have to know some kind of content in order to answer the question, right? Let's say, for example, in 35th question, Nature Solutions Finance Hub for Asia and the Pacific. Now, since it is related to Asia and Pacific, what do you think are the options which is most likely to come here? New Development Bank पे Russia है, South Africa है, India है, China है, Brazil है, and some other countries have been added to the BRICS. So do you think that it will come with Nature Solutions Finance Hub for Asia and Pacific, exclusively to Asia and Pacific? May not be. IBRD, meaning World Bank as well, does not need to have a Nature Solution Finance Hub for Asia and Pacific, right? Most probably. But ADB and AIBB can come. Now, how do we go with ADB here? Now, AIBB is a China-dominated body, right? Do you think that China is mostly concerned with nature solutions? China is never concerned about nature, right? They're mostly concerned about only the infrastructure projects. But ADB is basically dominated by Japan and China. So therefore, ADB has more chances of being correct than AIBB. So therefore, we take A as the answer here, right? Now, what about 90 here? Nature Restoration Law. Again, a question related to nature. Now, which organization has enacted the Nature Restoration Law? If any body has the power to enact a law, the basic thing is that it should have a parliament. It should have a lawmaking body, right? Now, among the following 4, European Union, World Bank, OECD, and FNAO, which organization do you think has the legislative body in order to frame a law? European Union under the European Parliament has the power, right? So this is where the level 4 comes in, wherein we will be using content along with our elimination strategies. Okay. So this will be a part of content. Sedition, Pune Pact. I'll be explaining all this in our elimination course as well. Okay. Now, one thing I want to say is the level 1, in which all these different questions is easy for everyone out there. You don't need to join any course to understand that. Okay, that is something that all the people out there, all the academics out there teach you. But what about level 2, level 3, and level 4? In order to tackle this, you need some expert videos or you need some expert advice, because this is not something that any of the academies out there, or be it the YouTube channels or anybody out there actually teaches you. That is why the upcoming logical course is very important, because in the 5 foundational lectures, the 4 foundational lectures after the first video will be regarding the level 2, level 3, and the level 4 Waller logic. We'll be mostly spending our time in order to understand all these different logics out there. Okay. So what is the one-stop solution in order to solve all these crises? That's why we are launching the Dominate Elimination course. For the fact that content can be only 30 to 35 questions, and the rest you will need to join you need to eliminate, you need to better your elimination strategies, right? Now, we basically have three components here, as all of you know. The firstly, starting from Feb 2nd to Feb 6th, we have 5 foundation lectures of 2 hours each. The classes will be in the morning from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. It will be both offline and online. The first class will be online for the fact that we have interview going on here. So the first class will be online. Apart from that, all the classes will be both offline and online. You will be having the recorded lectures as well in the portal. You will be able to access the same. And also in the group, probably in the evening, I'll be sharing the recorded lectures as well. So after each and every class, we'll be solving close to 15 questions, which basically deals with the logic that I have taught in the class. So we'll be having lectures and you'll be also solving, which will actually help you understand whether you have understood whatever I have said in the session. Right. Now, after the 5 foundation lectures, we will have our first worksheet. So on Saturday, we'll be solving a 30 question test series. So I'll be sharing the questions in advance. You need to do in half an hour. Followed by that, we will be solving. We'll be discussing all those 30 questions, which are non-PYQs and which are completely logical in nature. Now, after the first week, then after that, we will be solving the PYQs. We'll be solving the PYQs from 2025 to 2016, certain year PYQ. And also, we will be distributing you the PYQ content as well. Okay? So you don't need to learn all the questions, all the content out there, because we will be segregating whatever is important for you, what UPSC might ask in 2026. So we will be giving you the content also with respect to all the questions. It will be in document format. 2025 content and explanation will be providing. And also the third and the most important component is we'll be solving close to 100 logical questions. So every weekend we will be having close to 30 or 40 questions. Okay, everyone. These are the 3 most important components of the same. Now, as all of you know, the recorded lectures are already available in the portal because we have done the same in the November batch. But if you want to watch the live sessions, if you want to ask me doubts, then it's better for you to watch the live sessions only. But the recorded lectures are already there because we have conducted the November batch as well. Okay. Now, what to do? Now, how will the session go? First of all, for example, I'll share regarding the video number 1. In the video number 1, we'll be talking about the general and specific statements. So how will the session go? First of all, I'll tell you what each and every logic are and what each and every statements are. First step, let's say, for example, general statements are those statements in which facts are not there. So therefore, since the facts are not there, now how do we make a statement incorrect? We make a statement incorrect by saying, इस पे वो fact है, वो गलत है. Right. This is not done by Reserve Bank of India. This is done by SEBI. This does not come under the Ministry of Textiles, rather it comes under the Ministry of Home Affairs. This is the way you counter something, right? इस पे एक fact होना चाहिए. Now, what if no single fact is there in a statement? If there are no other facts, then would you be able to counter that statement? No, right? Basically, that is what is known as general statements. So I'll detailedly explain. अभी तो मैंने थोड़ा भी fast पे जा रहा हूँ, लेकिन in the session I'll be explaining very slowly and in detail what each and every word are, what are general statements and something. And then after that, I'll give you examples regarding the same, what constitutes general statements and each and everything. After that, we'll be dealing with multiple PYQs in order for you to apply the logic. Then after that, we will go into the thought process, how you have to think with respect to each and every logic out there. For example, general statements way, you have to think in terms of geography. Can UPSC say that this is not used in North Korea, tribes in Amazon, village in China? You can use the quantity approach here. How can UPSC say that not even 0.000 itna bhi nahi hai? Can UPSC prove the same? No. Now, how can UPSC say that future पे नहीं होगा? अभी तो नहीं possible नहीं है, लेकिन बाद में 100 million years पे या 3000 years पे, how can UPSC say that ये possible नहीं है? इसे कैसे UPSC बोल सकता है, right? So I'll be discussing. अभी तो मैं जल्दी जा रहा हूँ, फिर भी है ना session पे I will be explaining in detail the thought process with respect to each and every logical, each and every elimination techniques out there. And after that, we'll be doing again questions. I'll be showing you the exceptions in which in the last 15 years, each and every logic has gone wrong. So mostly what do we see in terms of YouTubers? They only take the questions which actually suit their narration इधर हम ऐसे नहीं करेगा. We'll also talk about those statements, questions which have gone wrong with respect to the session, with respect to the elimination technique that we'll be discussing. Okay. Right. Now, also after watching the foundation lectures, you have to read about the worksheet. You have to do the questions from the worksheet. So the worksheet is also uploaded in the portal. It's available to you, but you don't have to do it abhi. Only after we have completed the foundation lectures, you can start doing the same. So what is the process? What's the foundation lectures? After that, we'll be doing the worksheet to understand whether you have understood the same. Is there any improvement required in your thought process? After that, we'll be applying all the foundation logics that we have learned in the PYQs from 2025 to 2016. Okay. So don't start doing the PYQs abhi aap wait karo. Only after completing the 5 foundation lectures, you start doing the PYQs. Okay. Therefore, you will understand how you have to solve each and every question. Or else, you'll be randomly doing PYQs and you are just wasting a PYQ paper. Okay. Now, other most important question, other than the logical elimination session, would be, do you need to study all the PYQs? That's a very important question, right? Now, the answer is definitely no. For the fact that you have to only study those PYQs which are evergreen in nature. Now, what do you mean by evergreen? Evergreen means ये topic 2025 पे भी important है, 2026 पे important है, 2027 पे important है, 2028 पे भी ये आ सकता है. So these are those topics which are meaning evergreen. This is not related to any particular year as such. Rather, it's a very general topic and can be repeated in each and every year. Only that type of statements you should be ready. You should be studying. Okay. For the fact that if you actually look into the PYQs which have been repeated in the previous years, you can see here these questions are repeated, right? 2019, 2022, polythene teraflate, 2022 पे repeat हो गया. Golden machine, Iltutmish, Banksford Bureau, Central Groundwater Authority, Under 2 Coalition, Chandragittuga, Mahua, Red Sanders, Sahel region, isotherms. 2024 and 2025, close to 3 questions were repeated. Andes got repeated, papaya got repeated, and one more thing, isotherms also got repeated. Now, what do you understand? Is the current affairs questions repeating, or is it the static questions which is repeating? क्या repeat हो रहा है? Anyone? Did you find any question related to current affairs which got repeated? Probably you can say that the Banksford Bureau was a question which got repeated 2 times. But that was the only current affairs question which got repeated, right? Now, was there any question which got repeated? No, right? Mostly it was the factual questions only, static or the evergreen topics only which got repeated. So you should only be studying the same. Now, that is why we will be providing you the content. Now, 2025 pay, nature solution, finance is a current affairs topic. So should you make notes regarding the same? No. But here, the carbon dioxide emission wala question, that's something current affairs, that's something evergreen, right? UPSC can always ask regarding the pollution, or UPSC can always ask regarding the current affairs, regarding the carbon dioxide. So this is an evergreen topic here. Do you think the CL20, HMX and LLM 105 will be repeated? No, it will never get repeated. But rainforest, oxygen ke baare mein, phytoplankton ke baare mein, UPSC can ask you questions. So therefore, this is an evergreen topic. Nature restoration law will never get repeated, but artificial rain will get repeated. So that is why you don't have to make content regarding your own and never study all the questions out there. I have seen videos which says that 1997 से आपकी PYQs पढ़ना है, पूरा questions के लिए option के लिए आपको notes बनाना है, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. These are all just stupid strategies out there set by different people. You just have to study the last 10 years of PYQs because the last 10 years are something which get repeated. इतने back पे आपको नहीं जाना है, ठीक है? So what I'm saying is, you don't have to do the PYQs abhi. You can do the PYQs along with the logical elimination course. You don't have to make the content for your own. We will provide you the crisp and very efficient content with respect to the evergreen topics. Okay, everyone. So we'll be starting the session. from February 2nd. As you can see here, this is going to be the schedule. So first 5 foundation lectures, followed by first worksheet, then followed by 2025-2024 essay hum jayega to 2016 we will be doing. So probably by March 6th we will be completing the session. So our exam timings will be shifting it from those who are not part of Dominate. I'm talking about the Dominate Prelims here. So usually we had the exam from 11 to 12, followed by 12 to 1 discussion. Abhi will be shifting it from 2 to 3, followed by 3 to 4 will be the discussion for the Dominate Prelims.